Thank you so much. Would you be seated? We're not going to keep you in too much suspense here. We're going to tell you what's going to happen, then we'll explain our reasons. We have accepted a church in Tennessee to be a pastor. We went there last week, to be honest with you. That's why I asked Chris to handle the pulpit. He did a masterful job, by the way. And most of you know probably why we've done this. A couple of reasons. One is, of course, I'm from Tennessee, and I've always kind of wanted and longed for Tennessee in my heart. But God's kept us here in a very wonderful way as well for 28 years. My little Meredith was a little girl like her girls, like Sadie at just about her age when we moved here. And Morgan was 10 years old. And so we've loved this church, and we've enjoyed ministry here. Many times I was really assuming that I would be here until I retired, and thought I would. But in this moment where Larry has been sick, and even her mother has been sick, Debbie's mama, we just have, as you know, Debbie's been there down there quite a bit, and I've been down there quite a bit. And because of that, we just felt like we're going to start praying about what we should do, maybe to get closer to all of our parents. I have a mother that's 84. Debbie's dad is 82. Her mother's 79. Going to be 80 this coming year. And we just felt that we've raised our kids, and we've got to see most of our grandkids at least up to their getting into the new, teenage years in just a few years from now. But my point is that we felt like this, if there was a time to make that shift, it would be now. I say I'm not going to talk about retirement, but the truth is there will be a retirement in a few years, and I know that. Whether it's 5 or 10 years or whatever it is, we're trusting the Lord to lead us on that. But we felt like we should seek this out, and so we did. We prayed about it. We asked for the peace of God about it. We received the peace of God about it. Now, there's no question that, and by the way, our last Sunday here with you guys will be September 4th. That's how quick the Church of God kind of makes a transition. But September 4th, this will be our last Sunday here. And then we will be at the church in Kingsport, Tennessee. We'll be at that church starting the next Sunday. Now, if I was an emotional man, like my wife could do this much quicker and easier than I can, but if I was an emotional man, I'd probably have a lot of tears right now. I feel the pain of leaving. You don't spend 28 years baptizing people and dedicating people's children, and marrying people, and visiting people, and burying people without having a grand and great effect on our hearts. And we recognize that this shift is not going to be easy for you. After being under someone's ministry for that period of time, sometimes it feels like, oh no, what's going to happen? Well, we've got good plans for that. We'll tell you those plans next week. We've got good plans for that. But and you can guess all you want. It's fun. You'll have fun this whole week.
That'll get you back next week.
Yeah, we'll get you back. But I was thinking about when I was coming here today, for 20 years of the 28 years, I've been traveling 482 to Cape Horn Road into my neighborhood for 20 years. I love the drive. Some of the prettiest country around is Maryland. And I'm driving back and forth through that for 20 years. And the first 8 years we lived right here where Chris and Alyssa live. But there's so many sweet memories of us being here for 28 years. And it's not going to be easy for us to say bye and go to somewhere new. I mean, I never dreamed how old I was until I started packing boxes and carrying them down 2 flights of stairs and realizing my knees are not made for what they used to be made for. And so that means I'm going to ask some of you men that are young to come help me load my truck. But we just think that we need to tell you today, of course, so that you can know, and then we want to tell you some of the transition plans next week that we believe are exciting for the church, and God's prepared the right kind of man to lead the church. You believe that? Amen. And so we'll talk about that next week and give you those details. But we do love you, and this is a bittersweet time for us because we want to be near our parents. We have great joy about that. We have great peace about that. But it is really hard to say bye. It's really hard for us to say bye to you. And I maybe next couple weeks it'll be a different emotional roller coaster for me. The hardest thing, though, is going to be leaving our kids. And we know it's not a long period of time, to be honest with you, when that day comes when we'll just have all the freedom we want to come up here and camp out in their houses and eat their food and all that stuff. But we love you, and we owed it to you to tell you what we know as soon as we can. And I hope you understand our reasons for doing that. We're going to a beautiful little church in Kingsport, Tennessee. It's about the same size, just so you know this, it's about the same size in attendance as this church was when I first came here 28 years ago. And it's a beautiful church. We're very thankful that we could be considered to pastor there. And so we're looking forward to being part of that community of faith. But it will be tough for us to say goodbye in these next couple of weeks with you.
I wasn't going to say anything because you know how I am. But I do love each and every one of you. And it is going to be extremely hard to leave you. But whenever God has a plan, you have to walk in it. And you just have to do what He wants you to do. I am going to be praying over the next week that Jesus comes back. Because there will be a day that if you give your heart to the Lord, which is the most important thing that you could ever do in your life, and serve Him, there's going to be a day that we're not going to cry. And we're never going to have to say goodbye. And it's going to be wonderful. And I would be glad if it would happen like between the next second and September 4th. So if y'all will pray with me that way, maybe we can get that done. But I love you. I could never say I love you enough. And I'm going to miss you. But since my children are here, you're going to see me. So that, you're going to see us. But I think you'll see me maybe more than him since he'll have to be preaching, on the weekends anyway. But I'll see you and we'll enjoy each other's company. And then one day, forever, we'll be together.
We love you. We really do. Chris, come on up. Yeah. I want you to close the service off. I wouldn't want to do it today.
Okay.